When you're feeling lost, what do you do? Like, are you someone who talks to someone else, right? Try to talk to them for guidance, or even just someone to vent to, right? Or are you someone who just kind of gets lost in doing what you're doing? Like, avoid a topic, just let it like ruminate itself in the back of your head, while you focus on other tasks, right? In my instance, I just get in a whole fucking battle in my head, right? It's so like self-destructive and almost self-sabotage because you're almost creating this whole gargantuan obstacle in your head about whatever's bothering you when in reality it's not as deep as it is. It could be so trivial that if you just, face it as in itself with no kind of all these premonitions of evil thoughts and just like how bad it's gonna be. It's not that bad, right? You're creating all these obstacles for yourself, and it kind of goes back to the previous video that talked about anxiety, right? And just like letting that shit go. Just it's more so like this idea of this instinctual habit of trying to keep yourself protected from the unknown. But the fact is that is the unknown, and it's so rudimentary that you're gonna try and do these things, but all it does, it makes it harder for you to face that unknown that we speak of. We're always so terrified about the bad thing happening when it comes to the unknown, when it's actually 50-50 chance the good thing happens from it as well. You might not see it as for what it is at the point that you're heading towards it, but give it some time and you'll see that it's actually what's good for you at the end, right? Now it's hard because you have like this idea of what you should be and should do, and the unknown is like the main detractor of that because you can't predict the unknown. But sometimes when you have no answer, you almost have to be that answer, right? You have to figure it out for yourself, and there's no point in thinking which way this. If it's a 50-50 toss-up, you might as well just face the music, right? Instead of just keep going ahead badgering on and on about it, you're wasting your head on the future and on the past rather than present. And if you're not spending your time in the present, are you actually living at all? Right? Like, you ain't living if you're not living in the present. Because the present is all that exists. The future, the past, it's an illusion. Right? Me predicting what's going to be like in the past, thinking about these thoughts, visualizing what's going to be in the future. Right? It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. But one thing's for sure. When you're doing that, you are not in the present. When you reminisce about the past and you look back and all the shitty things that happened, this or that, you dwell on it, same fucking thing. Could be a good thing, you could be finding a good thing, you could find a bad thing. At the end of the day, you're reminiscing. That means you're not in the present. And honestly, I think this could be a long video just because of the whole fact of social media, technologies. When we are in the present, are we actually in the present? Because when are you actually bored? When do you let yourself be bored? Right? I remember back when I was younger, when I was bored, right? I'd try to like find something that I can like that stimulate me in person, like not even digitally, just playing Legos, right? Or just imagining things. Like say I'm I'm in the back seat, right? My parents are driving us somewhere. Nice little trip. I'm just imagining, like the stick figure up and down, just like doing parkour as we're driving past like the sidewalks, just the scenery, like is it climbing the lamp posts, the walls, the hills. Well, where's that now? There isn't, because when we're bored, it's so easy to fix it, and we think that the like natural state is now to just scroll through your phone. When was the last time you actually searched something you wanted to know about? When was the last time you actually like, hey, I should learn more about this? Because I'm be honest with you, I don't remember. I think maybe like 5 years ago. I think it's ever since like the algorithm base ever became so prominent, and it started with YouTube with the recommendations, and then it led to like the explore pages, and then the for you page in TikTok's the worst, right? When's the last time you fucking searched something on TikTok? And it doesn't count if you're clicking a link from the comments or some shit. When's the last time? You can't remember, because that's how it's built now. You're just supposed to feed into this thing, because attention is currency. Right? Okay, let's not attention. That could be a topic for another day. All I'm trying to say is the present is the closest thing you have to reality, right? It's the closest thing you have to reality. It's the only factual thing to exist. This exists right now. Now, when I said that doesn't exist anymore, because this exists now. When you see this video, after you see this video, you watching the video does not exist anymore, but you, after watching the video, does exist. So what you do with that information, what you do with yourself, is the only thing that's existing. Everything previous to that is just a past. That's not reality anymore. Now you can decide whether that could have been useful. This video could have been useful to you, or you could have decided, you know what, it's fine to forget that. What is here and now is the only thing that exists, right? I think a lot of the negative human emotions that it's hard to grasp, right, when it comes to sadness, depression and anxiety, just builds off from that fact of struggling to just make do with the grasp of reality. When you're in the present, don't live in the future, don't live in the past, live in the present. And when you're in the present, you get distracted by all these stimulants that are taking you away from agency in your life. Anyways, I think that should be good enough for today.